So, good morning, everyone. Welcome to a Brilliant Businesses podcast. My name is Nick Bryant, and today I'm joined by two guests. I'm joined by Matthew Rose and Greg Thurstons from the Elite Football Programme.
Yep.
Hello, Matthew.
How are you?
I'm all right, thank you. Bit of a pause there.
No worries.
So, the Elite Football Programme is based at Beechwood School, and the aim of the football programme is to be a unique development hub for aspiring football players.
Yeah.
But we'll start the podcast off, Matthew, by you telling us about your journey and how you got to where you are. I'm going to chuck in, the QPR and the former Arsenal stuff.
No worries.
But yeah, take it away.
So, starting from the beginning, my background in terms of football and why even it's relevant in terms of what we're doing now. I went to school, I played football all the way through, from very early age up into being picked up by Arsenal at 12, going through the whole schoolboy system, doing my apprenticeship with Arsenal, going on to earn a professional contract, and sort of that part of the journey, you can see a lot of pitfalls. So there's a lot of good players out there competing for the same place and same space. And what's important, and what you begin to learn, especially as you're older, is that very minimal the amount of players that are actually going to make that grade. And those that actually do make the grade, then it's very minimal again to those that can make of such a level that then they can finish from football and have a nice life. So it becomes really evident that education is such an important part for football players to maintain, because you never know.
As a fallback mechanism.
Exactly. So that's one of the messages we're bringing in terms of the programme we're bringing to Beechwood. That's why we've got the academic and the football side of it.
Okay. So Beechwood, the football programme was set up in September 2022?
It's going to start September 2023.
Okay, so it's not actually started.
So the basis of this year, we call it a foundation year, and that's basically for us to get everything ready and set up. So we've got a brand new strength and conditioning gym just nearly finished. It's to make sure the pitches are in position. We've got the goals there. We've got a whole programme there ready. And obviously it's recruitment. We've got a year then to recruit the students, stroke players, to start in September 23 on their journey. Okay. So your job is head of coaching? It is, yes.
Yes. Okay. So tell us a bit about that. What does that involve?
So as head of coaching, my idea is my primary role is the philosophy in terms of football development. So going back to me, obviously I played, and you'll probably talk about that a bit anyway. But when I retired from football, I took 2 years off. I did some finance stuff.
Okay.
Had a eureka moment at the end of them 2 years that I needed to get back into football, and then started my own coaching pathway. And part of that pathway, a lot of it was based upon football development. So it's bringing the development ideas that I bought from Arsenal, talking with Arsene Wenger, learning from Arsene Wenger, and bringing those ideas now to Beechwood that I've took to various academies. But then we're giving players the proper academy experience, a proper development experience. And primarily it's based upon development coaching. Good development coaching is about developing individuals. It's not about having school teams that win everything and we're playing fixtures every week. It's not about that. It's about developing individuals to be the best player they can be. That's the real emphasis. Okay.
And your experience with working with people like Arsene Wenger, and that passing that on to kids now, I guess, is do kids go a little bit sort of awe-inspired by that? Are they
Yeah, even the kids now, once they find out that you've played professional football, then it's I wouldn't say you get respect, but it's almost, to them, it's like, oh, wow. I wouldn't say I was ever a household name, and I'm 47 years of age now. There's lots of younger players that they'll relate to a lot more. But the fact that I've been there and I've played professional football and I've coached first team football as well, is the players, even now, we found even with the children and the parents coming to Beechwood, it becomes quite an attractive thing for them because they know I know what it takes to become a professional football player.
Absolutely, I think that's such a benefit because not that I'm knocking any other teacher for any other reason, but I think that when someone has been there, seen it and done it, I mean, it's so much more inspiring, and that's what you've got.
Exactly. And we want all our staff to be full-time and qualified. We don't want, and again, no disrespect to PE teachers, but if this is a football program, we want football staff. So,
of course.
We want people that have been around football, the world of football in some context or another, that then can have the benefit for the players. So, again, not disrespect to PE staff, but a lot of schools will have a PE member of staff doing some of the football coaching, and then they're back doing lessons where we'll be devoted solely and focused to that football.
So how does it work? So someone comes along to Beechwood School and they're studying as well.
Yep.
So it's not just football, is it? They've got their education there as well, and this is something as well as.
Yeah, I mean, and Greg will talk to you more about the education, because Greg's expertise is that field. You know, I mean, he had some experience as a goalkeeper. He was at Chelsea as a young lad for 6 months, didn't make the grade, but he really knows the education, and this is why it's such a unique program. I'm bringing sort of my world of football and excellence, and he's bringing his world of education and sport to make two perfect worlds meet. So that's I mean, Greg will be better placed in terms of more on the education.
Okay, side. Greg's going to be with us shortly, so we can talk about that. So Beechwood School, it's a lovely school. Driven past it many times. The facilities there are superb, aren't they? As far as the facilities for football, you've got everything you need and some. Yeah,
I mean, I was the same. You drive past it; it's a lovely building, but you don't realise till you actually go in it.
Oh.
How beautiful it is.
Okay, yes.
Yeah, it's real. It's like a TARDIS almost. You walk in there. You look out the back. They've got lovely grounds. The Alpha Group, who invested in Beechwood School and own other schools like Sackville, are investing lots of money in it. So the infrastructure, the classrooms have all improved. They've spent a lot of money. We've just put a new strength conditioning gym in. We've got investing money in the pitches down below. So everything is there what we need. Which is ideal. So. It's very quick for us to move in from the football back to the education. So we're all in one area.
Talk to me a little bit about the football side of things, because that's your side. As far as an approach that you would take to teach kids to be good footballers.
Okay. So I mean, the base is knowing their basic levels to begin with. So whilst we try not to be elitist, we are looking for players of a good level. We want players that come in, because what we want to do, if we got a group of players, we don't want 3 or 4 players that are of a good level, 2 or 3 maybe that can't kick a ball, because then it's to the detriment of those players that we are trying to really improve. So the first thing I say is we're trying to get each year group, hopefully, should be players of a good standard. The idea then is trying to develop them. So when we look about developing, especially younger players, it's making sure in the technical base is there, and correcting the basics. So we'll always keep going back to the basics with their left foot, right foot, making sure everything's done correctly. So if we can nail the basics, then we've got room to improve and room to grow, and then we'll tackle the physical side of it, the mental. When we talk about football, there's those 4 sides, the social, the physical, the mental, the tactical, and we've got to tackle all 4 of those. It's just how do you tackle them, what age do you tackle them, and etc. So but it's all built towards the individual. So it's knowing that individual strengths and weaknesses and how we can improve each of those areas.
Boys and girls
really important. Really important. And the girls is huge, and we're finding lots of application from girls, and at the moment I would say the girls is probably going to look the stronger.
Is it?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
it's because of the World Cup and.
I think so. It's definitely because of the World Cup, and there's lots of talented girls in Tunbridge Wells, lots in the surrounding areas, and I don't think the boys. There's always something for boys going about, and while we're unique for the boys, we're very, very unique for girls. There's nothing they won't have something like this or experienced anything like this. So, we're unique, and would encourage boys and girls to apply.
Of course, what do you like about it, Matthew? What's the best thing? Why are you doing it? What do you get out of it the most?
I love development coaching. Like I say, I've had a good career in football, and I've been lucky enough to play lots of games in football. And as I've said, I've seen players fall to the side. I know what it takes to develop, and I've also been lucky enough to work in development coaching, and I was a first team coach at Barnsley.
Right.
So I've had, I've seen both spectrums, but. Whilst I love being around the first team and that buzz of winning, development coaching is very different. And to see a child develop from 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 and then go on to play professional football, it's a complete different feel. And I like that, and I enjoy that, and I enjoy that, seeing that happen. It's quite an emotional journey to see. I
can imagine such an achievement for them and for you to make they got that place.
Ultimately, that's what we'll judge ourselves on. You always got to be held accountable for something. So how do we hold ourselves accountable? Not on winning things. We hold ourselves accountable as what did we do for that individual? Did they get to play professional football? Did they get that US scholarship? Did they go to Loughborough? Or ultimately, did we make that person the best player they could be? And if we can say yes, then we've done our job, and that's what we're trying to achieve.
That's really good. Probably a good time to bring Greg in now, because I wanted to say about, not only is it obviously they've got to excel at football, but they've got to excel in their teaching as well, in their learning.
Exactly.
So should we bring Greg in now?
Yeah, bring him in. Why not?
So Greg Thurstons. Greg.
Greg.
We were talking earlier about names and how we present it to each other. So you're the director of football.
That's correct.
At the Elite Football Programme. So let's do the same thing and tell us about your journey and about how you got to where you are, and then let's talk about the football side of things.
Yeah, I think so. I started off playing, grassroots, and then went to university and started to progress significantly as a player, as a goalkeeper. Actually, I was.
Okay. Yeah.
And then got scouted by Chelsea Football Club.
Wow.
Went in there and for 6 months and realised I wasn't quite at the level. And then played for a host of non-league teams.
Okay.
And probably in my early 20s, mid-20s, I realised that actually I really enjoyed the coaching side of things, and that I felt I could add significant value to something that potentially wasn't there.
Okay.
Ended up doing all my coaching badges and qualified with my A licence outfield and A licence goalkeeping. And I think at that time I was the youngest to achieve both, which was quite
it's an achievement.
Yeah, it was quite an achievement at the time, because it's quite a long process.
Okay.
And alongside that, I did my postgraduate certificate of education to become a teacher, and became a head of football at an independent school, and understood that in the independent sector that the facilities were outstanding, and there was a real desire to offer football, and then moved to Royal Russell School in Croydon. And was the director of sports. So I was in charge of all the sports, and learned a hell of a lot there, really, how to build a complex programme, considering sport and academia. Built relationships with students and parents, and it soon became obvious that football in itself, alongside academia, was a USP. And we attracted significant students, both boys and girls, in the day side, so normal day students, and also independent schools. Some offer boarding, and we attracted them in boarding. And then I met the Alpha Group, who own Beechwood, and me and Matt went up to see them, and their philosophy was very much aligned with ours, and we were able to agree and move across to Beechwood and instill this programme, but be even more bespoke and more unique. So really exciting journey it's been.
And that's a great partnership with you and Matthew, about both of your skills that you can bring in there.
Yeah, absolutely.
And offer it to the school. So how do people, if people are watching this and they want their children to get involved, what do they do?
So I would say if they go to www.beechwood.org.uk, the website has all the information they need.
Okay.
But they can ring the school and speak to the admissions team, and we would book a tour with them. And if they were really keen, we could do one-on-ones as well, so we can assess them and see where their level's at. But I think.
And do they get, once they're going, and once you got going, you go and have fixtures with other schools and other teams?
Yeah. So Matt alluded to it earlier. I think the traditional independent school model is loads and loads of fixtures, and often there's a conflict with their clubs.
Right.
And that's something we experienced at Royal Russell. We won pretty much everything in terms of outside the professional game, on the independent circuit, on the non-league circuit. But this is different. This is working with clubs, whether that be professionally or grassroots, to ensure that it's about the individual and there's development there. We will have fixtures, and we'll select competitions just to assess where the students are at. But ultimately, the programme is not designed around a heavy fixture list. It's based on quality of fixture. Ones that will give players exposure, but also develop them because it's at the right level. But it's more about that individual development, like Matt said earlier.
Bit of a difficult question, but I don't mean to be difficult. What if they don't? What if a child comes along and doesn't make it as a pro footballer? It doesn't go any further for them. How do you deal with that disappointment, if there is a disappointment? Obviously, they've got their education as well, so that's good. But
I think the performance program that we're going to offer the staff have a real depth of specialisms. So we've got physiotherapists, people that have been in broadcasting, marketing, coaching, so many, teaching. So I think people that experience the program are going to understand that and the wider context of football and sport, and we can help students, go down those pathways as they develop and get older. And usually it's around 16 to 18 when a player will realise it's becoming less likely and start looking at what other career pathways they would take. So, we've had a vast experience in that. We've had students go to the US on college scholarships, into Spain on football programmes. The UK, looking at the individual universities and what strengths they offer. Is someone more academic, and therefore they would go to a more academic-based university, or someone that's actually more football, and they would look at that type of university. So it's we've got good experience in that area.
Well, I think it's important, if you've got if there's somewhere else you can go as and when you've done it. But I think along the way, there's just pure enjoyment for them as well. I think,
Agreed.
Isn't it? If they don't make it, they've had a great time doing it, and that's important as well. Beechwood School, again, we're talking to Matthew about this, but what makes them a bit different as far as for your choice of going to there, using them?
Yeah, I think there are numerous factors, but the key factors I would say. One, I don't think there's anything like this in the Tunbridge Wells and wider area. Tunbridge Wells is generally in the areas considered more rugby based.
Yes,
but actually, I'd say, the vast majority, the high percentage, probably are more football based, because it is, probably the most played sport. Certainly team sport in the UK. And like Matt was suggesting, the girls' side in particular is huge. It's becoming massive. We've been quite overwhelmed, actually, in an excited way, how the girls have, really come on board and are really looking forward to joining the programme, and we can push that in a unique sense. But I think demographics is massive. We're near London, and we're also near the coast. The coast with the clubs, around Brighton and Portsmouth, Southampton. And then obviously you've got the London clubs as well, Crystal Palace, Chelsea, etc. So we've got players that are currently at those types of clubs, and those that are just below that level looking to get into that environment. Yeah,
no, it's a really good point. Location is really important, actually, isn't it? Because some people could go up to, to a school up in Leicester and do it, and but then you're quite a long way from London, and the London clubs maybe is the enticing thing for people, I think.
I think you're absolutely right. And I think Tunbridge is a nice area as well. I think it's worth saying that. I love Royal Russell. But I think being in Croydon, that's probably a more challenging environment if you step outside the school. For boarding students at Beechwood and day students, that's not the case. Obviously, Tunbridge Wells is a safe environment. Or I don't think anywhere's perfectly safe, but
it's got bad places as well. We know.
Absolutely.
I asked Matthew this as well, but what's the best thing about it for you, Greg? What do you enjoy most about what you do?
I think I've loved winning things over the years. That's been great. But the reality this has given me time to reflect. And I think when it really boils down to it, winning is a short-term fix. When you're talking about students at a younger age, what we really should be doing is looking at how we can develop them long-term. And I think, we've had Rihanna and Reese and other students that have gone on to play professionally, and people that have gone on, like I said earlier, to US scholarships. And I think keeping those relationships and the relationships with the parents is really what it's about. That's really success in my eyes. Like I say, winning national competitions is great short term, but it doesn't help that person longer term necessarily. The benefits aren't there like they will be with it for an individual development program where the philosophy is about development. That's
a really big part of it afterwards, isn't it? And just keep in touch.
And we do keep in touch with them, I guess. That's a really, really valid point you're making, I think. Continue to try and support Reese, who unfortunately didn't make the World Cup squad through injury, and I'm contacting him and wishing him well and trying to support him.
I'm sure he'll be fine. I'm sure he'll be right. That's great. I think I've covered pretty much everything. There's lots of other things we could probably go through about the facilities and things. Actually, we were going to touch on that, the facilities. Matthew spoke a bit about it, but you're a goalkeeper, so I mean, as far as goals go, quality goals, quality balls, quality grounds, quality changing rooms. I mean, Beechwood's got it all, isn't it?
I think you're absolutely right. And there were areas that we highlighted to the Alpha Group who own Beechwood that they needed to develop, and they've invested.
They put stuff in that you recommended.
Absolutely.
Did they?
So, for example, goals. And I think for me, players and parents and people generally like detail, so the pitches need to be immaculate, the goals need to be box goals, not fixed.
Yes.
So they're, the players like shooting in those types of goals, and these are small details that might seem irrelevant, but I think they're much more relevant to the players. And then the S&C looking at rehabilitation and what facilities we need in there, and taking advice from the very best to ensure that they're correct as well. So. Yeah, no, you are right. Facilities are critical.
Yeah, that's cool. Thank you, Greg. That's brilliant. And thank you to Matthew as well, who's right behind me. It's been a really interesting chat. And I think if anyone wants to find out more, then they can just pick the phone up to Beechwood and speak to one of you guys, or go on the website that you said and just get some more information. But thank you very much for joining us.
My pleasure.
And we'll see everyone for another podcast soon. If you like what we're doing, please subscribe, and see you for another one soon. Thank you. Cheers.
Take care.